What's up, boys? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and as you can see by the title, I'm going to be going over exactly what I would do if I had to restart wholesaling as a complete beginner. This is something that people ask me all the time, and obviously it's easier said than done, but I'm going to give you a rough timeline and actionable steps to take that I would also take if I was starting as a complete beginner in 2025 trying to wholesale real estate and trying to make it into an actual business, not just be a wholesaler that closes one deal every couple of months. The first thing I would do, absolute first thing, is I would save up capital. So if you don't have a job, if you have $0 to your name, I do not think you should get into wholesaling at all right now. Wholesaling is a business where you need a little bit of capital to start out in order to see results. I don't think wholesaling is the business that's gonna make you your first 5,000 or first 10,000. It's the business that's gonna make you your first 20, 30, $40,000. So you have to obviously put something in order to get that type of return. Your first couple $1,000s can easily be made by just working a normal 9-to-5 job or, going out mowing lawns. I was working as a plumber for my dad and I was working at a golf course at the same time. Saved up a couple $1,000 and that's how I was able to invest into marketing early on in my wholesaling career. So just to lay out some expectations, you are probably going to be closing your first wholesale deal in about 4 to 5 months. It is not a get rich quick business. This is something that takes time. You have to dedicate yourself to. And there also is a little bit of luck involved because with any type of outbound marketing and any type of outreach, there is always, being at the right place at the right time. And some people may be at the right place at the right time within their first month, but some people it may take a lot longer for them to get to that exact point. So it really depends, on multiple different factors, but a very conservative time to close your first deal is about 5 months. And like I said, don't expect to get into this business not spending any money. You have to spend money to make money in wholesale real estate. So reframe your expectations. And now let's get exactly into the game. Hopefully by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what you need to do to actually move the needle forward and actually start wholesaling real estate. The first thing you're going to want to do is immediately get on the phones. The reason why you want to get on the phones as soon as possible is because it is the stickiest point of a wholesaler's career. The initial phone call and that first couple phone calls you're going to make to sellers are going to be the scariest moments of your life. You're going to be like, oh, what if I fuck up? Or, oh, well, I'm going to get nervous. What if I stutter my words? All of that doesn't matter. You need to push past that mindset as quickly as possible, and that's what's going to lead you into being a great wholesaler. A good wholesaler is going to be very good on the phone. That is the number one key. You need to be someone that people want to talk to. No one's going to sell their house to someone who sounds like an idiot on the phone and you have no emotion and you have no clue how to pronounce words and you have no clue what anything real estate means. You have to be able to explain a transaction to a seller and let them know that you're an actual professional. And the quickest way you're going to be able to get to that point is by practicing. So start out by practicing using free methods. Don't spend money on practice. Start calling FSBOs, maybe do some type of sales training, do mock calls, do something where you're able to practice talking to another person. Or I've even seen people practice with AI. Just get reps in using a normal script. My last video actually goes over in detail how to go through the acquisitions process. So if you haven't watched that already, go watch that after this video, and that'll explain exactly how you need to talk to a seller while you're wholesaling real estate. Another thing that I would like to add is during this point of your career, you should be looking for someone to mentor you, whether that's one of your friends or an older person in the business that you know, or someone that you pay. You want someone that's able to give you guidance in your sales process and in the whole process in general, that's able to oversee exactly what you're doing. Because a lot of people get lost on the path that they try and take. There's a lot of different paths to take in wholesaling real estate. You might want to go the novation route. You might want to go the off market. You might want to go the on market route. So you need to have a mentor that's able to shift your focus into one segment of wholesaling. That way you're not getting led off path and left astray. With your sales training, guys, record your calls. So that way, if you have a mentor or if if you're just yourself, you can go back and watch those calls and listen to what you did wrong. Like, oh, I fucked this part up. Oh, I stuttered here. Maybe I should practice this segment more. Maybe I need to work more on the price. Maybe I need to work more on, digging into the motivation of the seller and actually unleashing their true emotion of why they want to sell the property. You need to be able to convey yourself well. And the only way you're going to get better at that is if you just put more reps in, record yourself, and fix your reps. The next step, once you start getting decent on the phone and once you get comfortable in making calls to sellers, this is when you are going to start to figure out what type of marketing model you want to use. Once again, I made a video breaking down exactly what type of marketing models you should be using. If you have less than $1,000 a month to invest, use SMS. If you have around $2,500 a month to invest, use VAs. If you have 5K or more, run some type of advertising. Now, once you determine what type of marketing you want to do, you have to make sure you're not getting rinsed. There are a lot of upsells within the real estate community. Realistically, the only thing you should actually be spending your money on is a good, cheap CRM, which only should cost you about $75 to $100 a month. You should be paying money on data, but that data shouldn't be costing you 10 cents per record. That data should be costing you 1 to 2 cents per record max. So if you're pulling a 10,000 skip trace list, you should be paying anywhere from $100 to $200 for that list. Next, you want to be paying for a software that actually sends those texts. I like to use Go High Level, and I use a special build out, and that allows me to send texts at around 7/10 of a cent. You don't want to be paying for Smarter Contact or Launch Control or something like that that costs you 2 to 10 cents per text to send out plus a monthly fee. There's a lot of upsells in the real estate community, so that's what you guys want to avoid to save yourself a lot of money. You want to be spending your capital on knowledge and mentorship, and then marketing. There's nothing else that you should be getting upsold on that you should be paying a premium price for. Everything else should be relatively cost effective, or else most marketing models wouldn't even make sense. Like, why would you run SMS if it was expensive? The only factor of SMS that I like is honestly the fact that it's super cost effective. So when people make it super expensive, what the hell is the point of even running the SMS in the first place? You're just paying a premium for a marketing model that doesn't even make that much sense and isn't even that good in the first place. So just don't get upsold when you're choosing your marketing model, and don't spend money on useless shit that you don't need to be spending your money on. Make sure all of your dollars go either towards a good mentor, good knowledge, or marketing. That is the only things you should be spending your money on. Next, once you have a marketing plan in place and you know how to talk to sellers, you have to be able to know how to analyze these deals. If you have leads and you know how to talk to sellers, great, but how do you know if you actually have good deals on your hands? There's one formula that you have to follow, and that is ARV times 0.7 minus repairs minus assignment fees. If you have a $200,000 ARV and you have $20,000 in repairs, that would put your max allowable offer around that $110,000 mark. That is how you want to calculate every single one of your offers, and that's how you want to be giving out your offers. Underwriting is not hard. It's literally a couple step process. If you watch one YouTube video, I made a YouTube video on underwriting myself. You can go back and watch it. If you follow that video step by step by step with every single property and you just use common sense, you will be able to find the ARV for any property at all that you may come across. It's not that hard. You don't have to overcomplicate it. You don't have to second guess yourself. Literally just find fixed up properties that are similar to your subject property. If you can't find directly similar properties, so if you can't find 3-2 comps, try and find a 2-2 comp, or try and find a 4-2 comp. You just try and find comps that are most similar to your property, and then from there just adjust. So just think about your underwriting logically, right? Like, okay, if I was to list this property on market, how much would it sell for? You don't want to be locking up shitty deals. It's going to lead to buyers not trusting you. It could even lead to legal issues. So just don't lock up shitty deals. Only lock up deals that you know you can sell with confidence, and the only chance that something is going to go wrong is if something terrible happens, God forbid. So now you're past the first 3 steps. You know how to underwrite, you know how to talk to sellers, and you know your marketing plan. The next step is to put it all in action and start executing. This should be around the week 3 to week 4 mark of you initially starting wholesale real estate. It only took me about 3 weeks to get comfortable on the phone and comfortable at underwriting properties. From there, this is where I made my number 1 mistake. I started cold calling. Manual cold calling is something you want to avoid at the beginning of your wholesale real estate career because it is not going to be enough volume for what you're trying to achieve. If your goal is to close deals, you need to realize you need to be doing a lot more volume than what you're humanly capable of doing cold calling manually. Let's say you have a 10-line dialer and you're able to make 5,000 dials a day and you generate maybe 2 leads a day. Okay, great. So it's going to take you 3 months, according to normal KPIs, just to close 1 deal. Don't you think you can speed that up by just sending out text instead of calling for 10 to 12 hours every single day? It makes a lot more sense to just go work a minimum wage job, make money, and then come home and spend money on marketing, because it'll just reduce the time to close your first deal. So skip the step of manual cold calling. Don't be like me. After your 3rd week, make sure you try and plan out marketing and have it executed. The first step of your execution plan is you need to have a system. So get your CRM, get Go High Level, get Podio, whatever you want to use and whatever you're comfortable using and building out, start building that out. Start making it so there's automations within your system. So if you put someone in a follow-up, they're automatically followed up with a month down the line. Custom automations and custom follow-ups are very important to keep your pipeline organized so you don't have to do it all yourself. Remember, we're trying to leverage our time properly, so we don't want to be spending our time on useless activities like trying to remind ourselves to follow up with a lead that we were in contact with a month ago. Like, that's just going to get lost in your mind. You're never going to remember to do that. So you need a robot that's automatically calculating when to do that for you and automatically reminding you. That's why we have a CRM in place anyway. Build out the pipelines. Make sure you have a screening column, an acquisitions column, and a dispo column so you can organize your leads. The screening pipeline is meant for people who just want to sell. The acquisitions pipeline are for people who are serious about selling. The dispo pipeline is for people who actually want to sell and went under contract with you and are actual deals. Now, once you have a system in place, it's time to actually start putting leads into that system. So whether you're SMS blasting, you're running ads, or you're cold calling with VAs, you need to find a way to actually get those leads that you're generating into your system. If you're doing SMS, then it should be embedded already in your system. You shouldn't have any issues with that. If it's VAs, try and put together a webhook so when your VA fills out a form, he can just submit the information straight into your CRM. If you're running ads, try and make a webhook so when someone submits an ad form, you could just funnel that directly into your CRM. You want to make sure everything's automated so you're not spending time doing stupid shit. You don't want to be sitting there trying to add leads to your CRM and make your life harder. You're there to delegate. Your whole purpose as a wholesaler should be closing leads. Like, that should be your job. That should be what your skilled position is. You don't want to be in a position where you're the one that's doing the low leverage activities, like trying to follow up with the leads or trying to do something that is easily automated or easily delegatable, because that can just, like I said, easily be outsourced to someone else and save you a bunch of time. It's all about leveraging your time and using your time wisely, and that's what's gonna actually get you paid at the end of the day. So now let me recap. First thing you're gonna do, get good on the phone. Second thing you're gonna do, make a marketing plan with the budget that you have or save up the money. 3, start underwriting, start getting good at underwriting. 4, start executing. 5, make a CRM. 6, get the leads into your CRM and begin working the leads. You want to make sure everything is very simplified. You don't want to overcomplicate this thing. It's not an overcomplicated business model. You don't need to spend a month learning. You don't need to spend all of your energy trying to learn the business model. The main thing you need to worry about doing is talking to qualified leads as soon as possible and making sure all of your waking hours are mainly spent talking to qualified leads. Because at the end of the day, that's the only thing that's going to get you paid. Yeah, guys, that's going to be about it for this video. That is my 6-step guide of how I would get into wholesaling if I had to restart from zero. You want to get the business automated to the point where you are the closer as soon as possible. You only really want to be spending your waking hours as a wholesaler talking to qualified leads, so you just need to find a way to automate the marketing process of finding those qualified leads as soon as possible, and then also automate your system so that you are only really spending your time on the phone talking to sellers, because that is what will find you these deals. I have a video linked down below for the dispo process for you guys who actually make it to the point where you're getting contracts locked up. That explains exactly how you're going to start finding buyers for your deals and how you can start JVing with people and all of that good stuff, and how you actually get paid from a wholesale deal. Also, there will be a link at the top of the description to apply to work with me and Hunter one-to-one directly, where we will start and scale your wholesale business for you. So if you're interested in that, you can click the application link down below and see if you get in. But yeah, guys, as always, like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.